James Skrmetta Show. Thank you for tuning in on a Monday, right here on a Monday, starting the week off strong, ready to do what no one else can even attempt to do before we start the show, which is absolutely stacked. We're talking Jeff Sessions. We're talking sanctuary cities. We're talking about the Las Vegas Raiders in the NFL. We're talking about Ted Koppel shooting Sean Hannity some absolute missiles. And we are talking the Colin Kaepernick debate, which I've held my tongue on until right now. Before all that, before we get into the good stuff, don't be afraid to go rate and review the show. If you are a loyal listener, if you listen every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then you should know more than anyone that you cannot find this anywhere else. You cannot find this kind of content anywhere else on the TV, radio, internet, anywhere. So please let the world know, increase our visibility by hitting that rate and review, 5 stars like you read about. Now, let's get into it. Let's not waste any time. Before we get into the actual topics, on Friday's show, I said that I needed the Kentucky Wildcats to win some games for me, for my bracket pool. And the North Carolina-Kentucky game was an absolute heartbreak. Kentucky down like 6, down 5. Well, first they were up 5 with like 2 minutes to go. Then they get down. Then they get back up. Then they get back down again. Now they're down like 5 points with about maybe a minute to go. Some crazy stuff happens to the point where they tie the game with something like 7 seconds left, right? Malik Monk hits a 3, tie game. I am celebrating for no more than 2 seconds. North Carolina drives down the court, hits a game-winning shot, 2-pointer, right inside the arc. One of his feet might have actually been outside of the arc, so it was like on the line. Terrible shot selection, just hoist with 0.3 seconds and a walk-on. A walk-on from North Carolina made the shot and ended my my dreams. I still have a security blanket. I need Gonzaga. As long as Gonzaga does not lose before North Carolina, then I'm fine. I will win my bracket pool, and I will be the god of March Madness. If Gonzaga loses before North Carolina, then I'll probably do the next broadcast on the top of a building and then jump off. So be rooting for Gonzaga if you have no one else to root for. Please. March Madness has been crazy this year. Having South Carolina in the Final Four, Oregon on the other side. Can you imagine if South Carolina played Oregon in the national championship? You want to talk about lowest views ever? Lowest views? That is worst case scenario for college basketball. College basketball tricks people, right? It tricks people because it tells people March Madness is all about Cinderellas. It's all about underdogs. It's all about these small schools beating these big giants, right? It's one game. It's a tournament. Anything can happen. But they don't want anything to happen. They want 1 seeds. They want 2 seeds. They want North Carolina. They want Duke. They want Kentucky. They want UCLA. They don't want VCU. They don't want, in 10 years ago, they didn't want Gonzaga. They didn't want George Washington University. They don't want South Carolina. It is the biggest lie ever told that March Madness is for Cinderellas. The numbers prove it with how little teams above a 7 seed, I think it is, make the national championships or make the Final Four. So South Carolina, Oregon would be absolute apocalypse setting for the NCAA. Well, let's go ahead and get into this. On a Monday, we're doing the show. Sometimes we do the show the day before. Sometimes we do it the day of. Today, we are doing it on Monday. And today, Attorney General Jeff Sessions came out against sanctuary cities. Again, something that he has been against for a long, long time is illegal immigration. And he came out and again reiterated in a broadcast that cities that are becoming sanctuary cities, and we will define sanctuary cities in a second here, cities that are becoming sanctuary cities will be punished. Whether it's less money, whether it's mostly financial penalties. And we won't get into all these penalties, but places like Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, these big-time sanctuary cities are being threatened by Jeff Sessions. Now, let's go ahead and define a sanctuary city. In the United States and Canada, a sanctuary city is a city which permits residence by illegal immigrants to help them avoid deportation. Leaders of sanctuary cities want illegal immigrants to have less fear of deportation, so they'll be more willing to report crimes, use health services or social welfare benefits, and enroll their children in school. Let's go ahead and take a look at a few quotes from Sessions. We'll go ahead and drop. Here we go. The American people know that when cities and states refuse to help enforce immigration laws, our nation is less safe. Failure to deport aliens who are convicted of criminal offenses puts whole communities at risk, especially immigrant communities in the very sanctuary jurisdictions that seek to protect the perpetrators, Sessions said. So Sessions is coming out against sanctuary cities. We have talked about immigration on the show a lot. What we have not talked about a lot is sanctuary cities. And I have said multiple times that a big part of me voting for Donald Trump was for staunch immigration laws, especially seeing what was happening in Europe and other places around the world. Sanctuary cities is something that's interesting to me because I don't live, in a sanctuary city. I'm not affected by it, so I'm strictly speaking off of not my own personal experiences as of being in a sanctuary city. My whole thing on illegal immigration is in that same vein on sanctuary cities, is that I don't care who is here as long as they're here legally. There's no doubt in my mind that an illegal immigrant, whereas America, yes, is the land of the free. We're all, this is heaven. When you're looking around the world and you're looking at what other places look like, especially the other places that these immigrants and these people are seeking refuge from, I understand how bad it is out there. I talked last episode or last show. I talked about how bad it is in some of these places. People that I know personally, stories from those people, what it's like out there. So I am not downplaying how bad it is from these places they're running from. But when you take in a large group of illegal immigrants and you pump them into a community, it is dangerous for the community. And it does change that community, and it does change the culture. You are injecting another culture into your culture with a group of people who are not surveillanced at all, who are here illegally, understood illegally. They know it. The community knows it. Everyone knows it. And there's a reason for different cultures and smushing them together, and you under the umbrella of being here illegally from places that are deep in strife. It does cause problems. And I am in no way saying that, build a dome around America and no one else in. All we want is blonde hair, blue eyes. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you can come here. Just do it legally. Be counted. So I have supported tougher immigration laws, and I'm standing with Sessions on the fact that the sanctuary cities are posing a threat or can pose a threat to these communities. And I don't know if it's fair to, you hear stories from both sides. You hear about, refugees who are coming and doing great things, and you hear about stories of refugees coming and doing terrible things. And I do believe there are many cases on both sides. This is not a black or white issue. This is a very, very, very gray issue. But in my personal opinion, there does need to be tough immigration laws and the ability to just dump a large number of people from a place of serious conflict into a random community in America, no matter how big or small. Dumping these places in there, it's going to cause conflict. Now, I think that there has to be some kind of a process. It can't just be, all right, we're a sanctuary city, come on and bring a few thousand in here, and we'll just see what happens. Go ahead and get in the schools. We have no way of vetting where you're from, what you've done wherever you're from, how old you are. You got a bunch of people running from some random place in the Middle East or South Asia and dumped into some random place in Texas or some random place in Maryland or whatever. And there's absolutely no possible way of knowing who is in your classroom, who is next door, who is at work. These people, I understand they're here for opportunity, but not knowing anything about these people, having absolutely no way to track them or know who they are, where they are, what they're doing, it is dangerous. So I think that it is a good idea, or it is a good move to limit these sanctuary cities. Next story. The NFL. Another team is moving. So the St. Louis Rams are now the Los Angeles Rams. And now we are having the Oakland Raiders. This also happened today. This also happened on Monday. The Oakland Raiders will now be the Las Vegas Raiders or the Vegas Raiders. I don't know if they're going to keep the Vegas Knights, I think it's the Arena League maybe. They go by the Vegas Knights. So who knows what the name will be. But it's a little weird. It's a little bit of a weird situation. Okay, this one's different on many fronts, not just the name. Number one, they announced it is happening. It is official. It is 100% happening. You will have the Las Vegas or Vegas Raiders very soon. Unfortunately, they will play in Oakland for at least this upcoming season and the next season. So you're looking like 2019 for the first time they were like, where the hell is this team going to play? And 2020 is when their proposed stadium in Las Vegas will be built. Now, maybe they'll play somewhere else in Las Vegas. Maybe they'll play somewhere else in Nevada. I don't know. But I do know that they will play in Oakland next season. And they have a 2-year contract. So one would think they will play in Oakland 2017, 2018, and 2018, 2019. Which is really, really, really weird. You have a team which has already told the fan base to, suck a fart. And you have that team now playing in that stadium in front of those fans. Would you go to those games? I mean, I'm kind of stuck on both sides because at some point you're still a fan of that team, unless you just are so angry they left you hate them. You're one or the other. You're not like, I'll go to a game, they left, I'm kind of cool with it. You're either totally against it and you feel heartbroken, or you put aside where they are and you still root for them. The St. Louis Rams and now Los Angeles Rams, if they would have stayed in St. Louis, I don't know if those fans would have supported them. I mean, that was an ugly breakup. That was a really ugly breakup. So you got to wonder if these Vegas Raider fans / Oakland Raider fans, I mean, this is the Oakland Raiders. Of all the teams, the most stereotypically volatile, angry, the black face paint and the silver pad spikes on them and the long mohawks. I mean, these are some terrifying looking people in the stands. And now Oakland, not only the players, but the owner and all the administrative people in the front office have said, screw you. We're going to Vegas, baby. Viva Las Vegas. But we're going to be here for... I mean, it's like if your girlfriend broke up with you because and she did it in an awful way, cheated on you with your best friend or something, and she was like, but we do have a lease agreement for 2 years, so I'm still going to be your roommate. That wouldn't be very cool. You probably wouldn't enjoy that too much. You probably wouldn't be happy with your girlfriend still living there and seeing her all the time. So I don't know. It's a weird thing. I don't know. I know fans will be there. They're not going to play in an empty stadium for 2 years. But you would think that it's going to be pretty damn awkward. Speaking of awkward, how awkward is it that the NFL, the kings of the anti-gambling world, the anti-sports betting world, are going to have a city in Las Vegas? It's crazy. This is just a typical hypocritical NFL hypocritical move. I mean, this would be like if the NFL was totally anti-alcohol, totally anti-partying, and they're like, yeah, but we have a team in New Orleans, but we're pretty anti-alcohol. Oh, are you? Because you have put your team in a city, and the only reason that city can have that team is because of the economy that was created because of the thing you're against. The only reason the Las Vegas Raiders can even happen is because Las Vegas can have a team, and the only reason Las Vegas can have a team is because that they're driven 99% by tourist casinos, gambling, debauchery. So the NFL and pro sports, because the NFL, where the NFL goes, pro sports goes, is going to have to figure out this betting thing. It has to happen, okay? It has to take place. This is a conversation that you're going to have. And the fact that Roger Goodell is going to be the head of this conversation makes me want to puke on my chest. Roger, if there is anyone that can screw this up, and if there's anyone that will screw it up, it's that clown Roger Goodell. He's just going to... It makes me sick. I mean, and then to go above Goodell, we have a president, okay? Sports betting is illegal in some states in this country. Our president is a famous casino owner, and there's an NFL team in Las Vegas where sports betting is legal. It's crazy. I guarantee you this. With Las Vegas having an NFL franchise now, this conversation will have to happen. It will have to take place. Because the NFL can turn a blind eye to a lot of things. Greg Hardy. Hey, Greg. Hey. The NFL can turn a blind eye to that. But it's not going to turn a blind eye to the money. It's not going to turn a blind eye to sitting a stadium directly across from a $3 buffet that has blackjack tables in it. Okay? I wouldn't be surprised if there were slot machines and tables in the Vegas stadium, which is crazy. Crazy. Next story. The next story is Sean Hannity, famous radio host / TV host, was had a little bit of a run-in with Ted Koppel on CBS Sunday Morning. Ted Koppel came out and said that he believes that Sean Hannity and opinion shows like Sean Hannity's are bad for America. Now, I think it's important to note and important to mention that Ted Koppel did this while giving his opinion. So, interesting move there, Ted. Interesting move to shame and shun the opinion givers with an opinion. The only reason I'm bringing this up is because I am fascinated by journalism. I'm fascinated by big media, media in general. You know, just the way that these places get eyeballs on them, and the place that what shows they put on, and the narratives that they build, and all that stuff. So, and as you know, from listening to this podcast, I used to be in the media. I used to write for a newspaper. So, and I have a ton of friends in media, and I work with them on a daily basis. So I've been relatively on the inside on a very small level, in South Mississippi. I wasn't in the CBS war rooms in New York. But I've seen what it's like on the inside of these places. And I understand how media works. I understand how media tries to swing things or drive numbers up and all this stuff. And we're going to do a media story after this one too. I actually forgot about this one. I forgot about this story in the intro coming up. I'll give you a hint. It involves Glenn Beck, one of my favorites. Favorite people to make fun of. So, but all in good fun, Glenn. We're just raising numbers, baby. But anyways, so I'm not really going to get into the Ted Koppel versus Sean Hannity thing. I'm more going to get into the idea of the opinion-giving industry being bad for America. One thing that I've fought on this show, and I've fought on this show a lot, is groupthink, sheep thinking, sheep thoughts, right? Facebook, you see it all the time. Twitter, you see it all the time. Groupthink. Oh, these people think it? I must think it. These people think it? It is now my thought. I haven't done a whole lot of thinking about it. Haven't done a lot of research, but I did see someone say this on the radio, so I'm going to take what they said, and I'm going to throw that out during a conversation. These 3 lines that I just heard someone say. And if it works, good. If someone asks me anything past that, I will pull the ripcord. I think that opinion shows in today's climate, when used improperly, can be dangerous. There's a lot of times where I hear someone that just echoes the thoughts that Sean Hannity, Rush Limbaugh, anyone from the left, that they just say. I saw it on Good Morning America, so I'm going to say it. That is dangerous. 100%. That is dangerous. That is bad. to not have original thoughts, to just take what an opinion giver gives you and passing but just like guns, just like knives, that's not what they're made for. You're supposed to use a knife to cut your steak, not to slice up your mailman. Right? These opinion shows are for you to hear a voice, another voice, whatever show you watch. Oh, you may watch a differing show. You may watch a lot of left shows even though you're conservative. You may listen to Rush Limbaugh 3 times a week even though you're a staunch liberal. You're listening to it and you're digesting it because you want something different than your own thoughts. You want a different opinion. Maybe it'll make you think of something different. Maybe it'll make you look at it in a different direction. Maybe it'll make you think a little outside the box. But then you come back into your own box, your safe box. Safe box. That's what opinion shows are for. That's what this show is for. This show isn't for you. Now, I would not blame you because it don't get better than this. This show is not for you to record and then just regurgitate whatever I say. This show is to give you a different person's context, different opinions, for then which you can make your own opinion. If I'm an advocate for nothing besides this, I'm fine. I am an advocate for free thinking. I'm an advocate for people to research, for people to read, for people to formulate their own thoughts and opinions and go and enjoy debate with whoever they want to. There's nothing that I think is more right and more just than 2 people with differing opinions on the same topic having a nice discussion. To me, that's the tops. That can't happen unless the 2 people have their own opinions. So I don't want everyone to just say what I say. I say it all the time. If you differ from my opinion on any topic and you want to talk about it, please contact me on Twitter at JSKRMETTA. Please. If you're in the local area, I will have you on the show. I have 3 microphones in the studio. I have multi-mics in the studio. I'm never going to turn someone down if they have a good reason to come and debate me on any topic. So where I understand what Ted Koppel is saying about the opinion shows, I don't think it's dangerous for America. What is dangerous for America is this non-thinking, non-critical thinking, no research, no understanding. That's what's dangerous for America. Not having your own opinion is terrifying. Not believing in something is terrifying. The scariest thing to me is during election season, it isn't the people with different thoughts, it's the people with no thoughts. Nothing is more disappointing. Nothing is more, I'm trying to think of an example of like immigration. If I say, I believe we should have strict border laws, and someone else says, well, I believe that we shouldn't have strict border laws. Well, hey, that's fine, baby. The third person that says, I don't really know anything about border laws, I don't really care, that's the person I have the issue with. So it's not that I have a problem with opinions. I have a problem with no opinions. So please educate yourself on topics. The mystery media story that we'll cover really quickly, because the show's actually running kind of long, is Tomi Lahren, an update. Tomi is reportedly from a report from the New York Times, I think. I hope I cited them. I hope that's the right person. I think it's a report from the New York Times. Said that Tomi has been banned permanently from the Blaze by Chief Glenn Beck for her stances on, that conservatives are hypocrites and are pro-choice. Started with the whole pro-choice thing on the View, and we covered that when it happened. I was saying that she's 24, and people say 24-year-olds say what they say. Tomi's kind of a firecracker, volatile, kind of aggressive, in-your-face Skip Bayless, and sometimes, when they're throwing so many hot takes out there, it's not really fair to take a hot take artist and take one quip and be like, oh, whoa, geez, that's a little too hot. We're going to go ahead and fire you. I actually think this works out in Tomi's favor, to be honest. Tomi, with her shtick, and if it's not a shtick, then I'm labeling her unfairly, but I believe that and maybe she really does believe what she says, but like Skip Bayless, I believe that they found a niche, and they understand that the more volatile, the more outrageous they are, then the higher, their threshold, the higher views they're going to get. The more outrageous their take, the better. So I think that those kind of people don't necessarily believe in what they're saying. They just say it to get a reaction. So you can't take those people too seriously. You can't, when Skip Bayless says something like LeBron James isn't a top 5 player in the NBA, you can't really take him too seriously because you know what he's doing. He's just trying to rile you up, just trying to get a reaction. And I think Tomi does that a lot. Now Glenn goes through some phases, and I think Glenn is going through another one of those phases. And I guess he's tired of the Tomi Lahren thing, her whole shtick. But the reason I think that it's good for Tomi is that she can only go so far with her shtick at a place like the Blaze because she has to have hot takes that fit the Blaze, right? This pro-choice hot take didn't fit the Blaze, and now there's an issue. All the Trump stuff, all that, even that was an issue because Glenn was a huge proponent of Ted Cruz. He didn't like Trump. Glenn didn't want Trump. He, graciously said, "Yeah, I'll work with Trump now. I'm here to support Trump now that he's the president." But before he was elected, Glenn did not want Trump as president. I believe he cried or something when Ted Cruz announced that he was done. I think he cried. But so Tomi was already in a box. She was already kind of ruffling feathers with the Trump stuff. In-house feathers, I mean, with Glenn and with her coworkers. So her being kind of boxed in is not good for her brand of hot takes. She's got to be somewhere else. Fox News, and you're probably thinking, well, on Fox News, that's way more, you got way bigger box than somewhere like the Blaze. Tomi, this now allows her to be even more outlandish, even more Skip Bayless. She is going to be, I think, she has a chance to be the Skip Bayless of the political world. Alex Jones might be that guy right now because Alex Jones says some outrageous stuff. But he kind of dug himself in there. He kind of has his little niche. Tomi, as young as she is, she can basically do whatever she wants. She can say whatever she wants. She can go in any route she wants. As long as she's saying crazy stuff, riling up feathers or whatever, the world is her oyster. So I think leaving the Blaze or getting fired from the band, whatever, however you want to say it, I think in the long run benefits her. I'm interested to see what her next move will be. I'm really, really interested to see what she does because she can go big network. I think she could definitely get a job at Fox News. Or she could do her own thing. Maybe she wants, I don't know what she wants to do, but maybe she can have her own show. It's like Skip Bayless where she just debates or where I don't know if she's a debating artist, or where she can just do what's in her wheelhouse and just get as outrageous as possible. There's like 3-4 minute clips on Facebook. It's tough to create a whole show. First Take when Skip Bayless was doing it was a few hours. Granted, there's 2 people, but so very interested to see what her next move is, and we will update the story as it moves forward. And we're already kind of up against the clock. Man, I don't know. I don't want to feel rushed with this Kaepernick thing, and I don't want y'all to stay past our kind of allocated 30 minutes. I got a feeling the Kaepernick thing could be a rant. We could get into that 15-minute territory. So I'm going to go ahead and end the show. I'm doing it because I'm thinking of y'all. I'm always thinking of y'all. I'm always thinking they don't want to listen for 50 minutes. They want 30, baby. They want 30 minutes. You give me 30 minutes, that's all I ask for. So we'll end the show at the normal time. I promise the Colin Kaepernick story or the Colin Kaepernick take will open Wednesday's show. I'm gonna go ahead and write it down. Colin Kaepernick, is he being blackballed? Is he being unfairly kicked out of the NFL? We're gonna go through it all. I got 2 days to think about this Kaepernick thing. I was prepared today. I was going to deliver just lava takes. But I'm going to do some serious digging. We're coming with numbers. We're coming with metaphors. We're coming with data. Or data, whatever. Tomatoes, tomatoes. We are going to dissect the Colin Kaepernick from the racial angle, from the NFL angle. It's going to be absolute can't miss. Wednesday, put it on your calendar. Wednesday's show will open with Colin Kaepernick. But that is it for this show. That is it for Monday. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. We're one day closer to the weekend. 2 shows until the weekend. Wednesday, Friday, 2 shows until the weekend. You already know that Colin Kaepernick's coming Wednesday. The week is basically over now. It's basically the weekend right now. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Thank you very much for listening. If you made it this far into the show, you are my hero. I love you with the fire of 1,000 suns. So go ahead and smash subscribe if you haven't already. That way you can never miss a show every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday. This is 30 minutes. That's all we ask. 30 minutes to give you the hottest news, the best takes that money cannot buy because it's free. You do cardio at the gym? 30 minutes, bam. You got a 30-minute drive to work? Boom, I got you. You cooking prep for dinner? Well, 30 minutes. I know just the perfect thing to listen to. Guys, you know what this has been. This has been the Skrmetta Show.